Good morning and welcome to the Teacher's Wake-Up Call. I'm Madame la Prof, and if you haven't done so yet, like, share, and subscribe, because I always have something to say, and sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's just fluff. I don't know if today is going to be interesting, or it'll be just fluff. I've been meaning to share this information because, and it's about the impending strike and, the outright refusal that the union gave towards the new offer that the government gave us. So, you know that there's girl math, okay, and different variations. Like, I like the anime math. The anime math is beautiful, but government math is very interesting. Like, I like how they take all the different amounts that they give, that they're planning on giving, not that they're going to give, but they're planning on giving, and add it to the paltry offer that they initially gave us. So they said, no, we're not giving you like 10%, we're giving you 14% because of the one-time $1,000 bonus and all the monies that we're reserving for special jobs and special postings. And I don't claim to be a specialist, but I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, how did you guys get to 14.8%? That makes absolutely no sense. But I guess their math is special math. I guess their math is the kind of math that we don't teach at school, and we only teach once we want to, become a politician. I don't want it to be just about the money. I don't want people to think that we're being greedy and we're being selfish and we're not being grateful. I know that it comes off as that, but you've got to understand, police officers of the Sûreté du Québec turned down a 20% increase. They turned it down. The government over the summer came back and gave them 21%. I know, it's only 1%, but I guess they came to some kind of agreement. So I'm saying, if we have tolerated, I don't even want to say tolerate, because no one accepts the idea that our MNAs got 30% salary increase, and everything is being very hush-hush about how the Sûreté du Québec police officers got 21%. Why can't we get the same? Why can't we get that same treatment? Why can't we get that same acknowledgement? Because a lot was said when the SQ, Sûreté du Québec, refused the 20% offer, and a lot of people said, wow, that's a lot. Why are they refusing? And they dug in, and then they found out that maybe it was justified, the refusal was justified. But when we refuse, we're being told, well, you didn't take the time to look at the offer. Well, maybe you should have read it. Maybe you should, There are people who take care of that. There are people who look at this and go, like, the math makes no sense. So, and I don't want it to make it to make it look like we're only in it for the money. We're not. Like, if I'm teaching, I'm teaching because I love the connection that I have with students. I love teaching them and seeing that moment where, like yesterday in my class, I was doing grammar, everybody's favorite topic. But seriously, we were doing grammar, and in 3 different classes, I had students ask me 3 different very pertinent questions that, I could see this kid knew something and he wanted a confirmation, like, is this, and I love that. I love that. I love validating their questioning. I love validating their knowledge, and that's the best form of assessment. You know, it's not a test. It's like confirming, yeah, you're right, and on the spot, and that is so satisfying. I love moments like that. It's the reason why I went into teaching. It's those like aha moments, and I love having those moments like that. Now, yes, the fact that I went into a job where I knew that my salary was guaranteed. I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird. I have a cold. Okay, I have a cold, so I'm kind of sort of congested. So the salary was guaranteed, and especially recently with the teacher shortage, you know they're going to need us. So it's a weird way of looking at it, but you know, as a society, you need teachers. And at the time when I started my career, I think I don't want to say we appreciated teachers more, but I think there was a different vibe. I think there was a different vibe within our society in how we perceived them, in how we understood their role and their job and what they brought to the table. And I think some of that is lost now. It's call it a weird feeling, call it something that I'm perceiving. And I know many of my colleagues will say, indeed, they don't appreciate what we do. And I think I had expressed very clearly how I perceived the government during the pandemic, which was they view us as babysitters. They view us as a place where you need to send your kids, not for them to learn, not for them to socialize. But during the pandemic, they made it clear they view us as a place to send our kids so parents can get back to work. So maybe that's not what the government thought, but that's what they said. We need to get the kids back to school so parents can go back to work. So it's moments like that that make you wonder how they view us, how they perceive us. And when you hear certain things from other elected officials who say things, are you really going to compare the job of an M&A to the job of a teacher? Yes, we are. And I made a video about it last spring, where you shouldn't be comparing jobs because each job is unique. Each job has its own difficulties, challenges, obstacles, and anybody who says, psst, you know, being a cashier at IGA is a joke, I'm going to go and be a cashier at a grocery store. And then I'm betting that same person who will have said that will be the first person to quit. It's like, I can't stand this. I can't do this anymore. You know? So I think instead of seeing teachers as being ungrateful, as being selfish, as being too demanding, as being, I don't know, too quick to call a strike, I think we have to take the time to really look at what both sides want, and really have a better understanding of why the refusal was so quick. And I'm not trying to say that one side has more right to be upset than another. But I think if the public actually knew in detail what teachers wanted and what they want and why they want the change that they're demanding for, I think they will have most definitely a better appreciation of why we're upset. And I know it's been talked about in the media. They talk a lot about class composition. They talk a lot about dealing with students with special needs. And the best example, and I used this when I did my video on our elected official comparing our jobs to the job of an MNA, member of National Assembly, for those who are not familiar with the acronym. As an MNA, if you are, not unwilling, if you don't want to talk to some of your more demanding constituents, you can go into your office and close the door and have someone else deal with it. When you are in a classroom with students who have very demanding needs, you cannot go to your office and close the door. You have to deal with them. And that is only one example. I know that there are other demands that don't concern teachers and that affect other members of the common front. But that's one of the examples. And if we want to truly function better, not just as teachers in a school, but as a society, I think we have to take the time to acknowledge that, if teachers are griping, it's not because they want to be selfish. I think it's because there is a need and there are problems and there are issues, and the impression that we are getting right now is that the government is unwilling to look at what we are dealing with. And that has been the case for the last 4 or 5 years. This government is unwilling to look and to understand if they're looking, they're only looking at one little speck instead of looking at the whole stain and saying, well, it's not that dirty. You should clean it yourself. It's not quite the case. On that lovely note, folks, I wish you a lovely, lovely Friday, and hopefully it's not going to rain in your neck of the woods this weekend because, that's a very old expression, in your neck of the woods, but I often say that. So have yourselves an awesome day in your neck of the woods.